Hey guys, it's Jenny with Becoming Homesteaders, and welcome to May's Garden Tour for 2023. I am gardening in Ohio, growing zone 6A, and I will be doing a garden tour of my vegetable gardens today. I will also do a later tour of my flower gardens, but I wanted to break it up for those of you who are not interested in both. If you are interested in both, be sure you stay tuned for a flower garden tour. Remember, if you liked my video, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, Becoming Homesteaders. Okay, so it is May, middle of May, and time for the May garden tour. So I think I'm going to break it up a little bit because there's so much to show you. So here in my Ohio garden, growing zone 6A, I have a mixture of vegetable gardens as well as flowers. So lots of each, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And we live in the city, so it is spread all over my yard. So I usually try to just go through each bed, but we're getting to be in the busy season, so there's so much in each bed that I think I'm gonna do a separate tour of the flowers and a separate tour of the vegetables. That way, if you're not into veggies, you don't need to watch the veggie one. If you like the flowers, go check that one out, or vice versa. So let's get started on the tour. We're gonna start in the back where I'm sitting in my back corner. I would say the newest gardens in my area. So this section has been here, I think this is the 5th growing season. We also added more space to this area just this year. And then we have gardens up front that I have my veggies into. So let's get started. Back here's my cabbage, and I have it uncovered just to show you guys the progress and some of my pest pressures that we've got going on. You can see, let's see, this one's pretty bad, and I'm sorry for the glare. The sun is out in full force, which I'm not complaining. Let me see if I can get a better angle though. Let's go on this side. Here we go. So you can really see the damage done. Got several things going on. We have the cabbage looper. He's out already in full force, and we've got some slug damage going on. So these are the Chinese cabbages. They look really good if we could keep the bugs off of them, but this guy, I just found a nice big cabbage looper on this morning. But they do look pretty, so hopefully we'll still be able to harvest some good heads here. We have our purple cabbage that looks beautiful. No pest pressure going on here yet. And then we have the Golden Acres cabbages over here. These guys look pretty good. This one's already starting to form up a nice head. I did find a cabbage looper on him, but you know, I'm out here daily with the hose spraying each individual head. You can tell by the droppings that the cabbage looper leaves that there's those guys on here, as well as I'm finding slugs. So I did have little dishes of beer because they like the yeast in the beer, the slugs do. Cabbage loopers I just have to hand pick off. So but giving you guys a little update on those. Okay, behind my cabbage, I have a row of broccoli and a small row of cauliflower. So the broccoli looks really good. This is just a normal heading broccoli from Johnny's, I believe. It's called Imperial. I have never sown this one before. These were started indoors. I have to say everything is definitely more mature right now at this point in the season than last year. Not sure why, because the seeds were started at the same time, but gosh, everything looks great. This is the purple sprouting broccoli. This is from Gurney's. I have planted this before. This is one of my favorites. It's just beautiful. It's so tender. The stalk is tender. It's just one of my absolute all-time favorites to grow, and it's so easy to grow. So I would highly recommend, if you're having trouble growing sprouting broccolis, this is a very good variety. It's from Gurney's, Purple Sprouting, or Burgundy, I think it's listed actually on their website. And then we just had a few miscellaneous normal heading broccolis back here. We'll see if they do good. These were just extras that I had. I thought I would throw at the end. Then back here, I also have another broccoli that was just kind of a leftover, but you can see the season has got to him. He is already starting to flower, so he is gonna bolt. I did want to show you though, this is what happens when your broccoli bolts. So it just is when the temperatures start getting too high, it's not far enough along in the growing process. So that's okay. We have lots of beautiful broccolis up here. So very happy with those. These are the cauliflowers. So these ones back here on the back end are the clementine. These are the orangish, yellowish colored heads. So never grown these. Really excited. Hopefully they do well. And then these up front are just your normal white cauliflowers. These I have grown in the past. They did very well. Unfortunately, the seed is no longer available. I purchased these through Annie's Heirloom. So we'll have to try something different. Maybe I'll try a different variety this fall. So who knows? All right, then in this little row back here, I have planted my peppers. I did a lot of peppers from seed this year, so I believe I overdid it, but I planted lots anyway. So in the back here, this section here, those are called Flaming Flare, and they are a hot pepper. Then this one up front is called Triple Delight. Those are the nice horn peppers, these ones right here, that get real long, and I'm hoping they do well. I've never planted either one of these varieties. These are brand new, so it is a bit shadier back here, so I'm a little bit nervous. Lots of morning sun, but then usually around 1 or 2 it starts to get shade, so we'll see. But I thought I would stick some of the pepper plants back here just to try. Then we have my grapevines, guys, and these look beautiful. So these are the seedless Concord grapes. This is their 3rd year. So I'm really thinking they should produce. We do have some netting up because we have such a deer problem here. And as well as the birds, I'm sure would just love to eat the grapes, but the deer are my primary concern right now because they just nibble on my foliage so bad. So we'll see. Hopefully they do well. We have a tomato plant over here. This one I believe is called Mr. Stripey. So he is a beautiful, I did him last year, beautiful yellow, orange, red tomato. Just beautiful. My raised bed here with the strawberries. I killed the Jules. I'm sure you saw that in my previous video. Super sad. So I did go out to a local nursery and I replaced these. These are ever-bearing. So we'll see. Just to have a filler in for there. It does look like one of them has already perished, but that's okay. Then we have some additional herbs back here. So my primary herb garden is up front. These are just extra herbs that I stuck back here because I had the room. We've got some chives and oregano, some dill. We have some tower basil and some sweet basil, some purple basil, and then some parsley on the end. I have my whiskey barrels here on either side. This is where I house my greens. So look at that beautiful Swiss chard in the middle. Not a big fan of the flavor, but I just love how pretty it is. That's such a bright red. And then we have some lettuces here. In this one, we've been eating on it already. This is that red velvet leaf, the red velvet. It's so pretty. My little Johnny jump ups there. And then over here we have a red Russian kale right there. It's so pretty. We have another Swiss chard that's just a green, and then some more lettuce, but we've been eating our fill of lettuces. Here in the other raised bed is my spinach. We're getting ready to harvest this. This did so good here. I will definitely put spinach in this raised bed next year. I think the cover really does help because we have such a problem with the bunnies and the squirrels digging, and of course the deer. So very successful with this. Another tomato here. This was a free seed packet from Baker's Creek. This was the spoon tomato. So I'm excited to see how he does. It is supposed to get real big, so I'm thinking that this beautiful cage here should be able to support him. And then teeny tiny little tomatoes. So I'll keep you updated on that. My celery looks great here in this raised bed. We have some volunteer leeks left over, and I think some garlic back there as well. But yeah, the celery looks really good, coming along nicely. Another little raised bed of greens. We just have some mixed, well, it looks like there's some spinach in the back, some more of the curly leafed kale, some more just leaf lettuces, as well as more leaf lettuces here. Like I said, we have definitely been eating on them. So salad for days here at our house, but that's a good thing. So very pleased with everything, super blessed this year. So love this little space that we have to come and sit with our coffee in the morning. All right, and this is the newest bed here in our garden. So let's back up and give you some perspective. So we have the rows of brassicas here, my little cute little sitting area, and then the new bed is this potato bed. So these are the Kennebec potatoes. These were planted, I will throw the date up because I don't remember, but they look awesome. So we're getting ready to till in between the rows and kind of hoe the potatoes up, put the soil up around the potatoes. But they all did very well, so very happy with that. The marigolds that I started indoors, they're not looking so good. So I believe they have some sort of a leaf fungal disease maybe, so I might need to come out and take care of that. But we'll see. Sorry for the sun glare again. The snap peas that I planted in the back, they do not look so great. So kind of disappointed with those. Those were the Pealicious from Gurney's that I purchased. Very spotty germination, but again, this could just be the location. So I did a video of planting them. There's a row on this side, and then there's a row on this side. So this guy is crowding them out for one, but not great germination with these guys. I was so excited to have them too back here, but this area was a total experiment. They do not get the sun that they should. So let's see, it is 12 o'clock and we can see the shade creeping in. So it does start with the sun around 7:30 in the morning, but I'm thinking that it's just not enough. I am going to try planting some black beans back here, but I'm a little worried that they won't do as well either. We'll see. They are underneath of a pine, so they do not get a ton of rain either. I have been watering, but you know, it's always better when you get a really good soaking. So let me pan up and show you this giant pine tree that we have. So that is right over these guys. Like I said, this was an experiment. If it is an epic fail, then we will move this somewhere else. But yeah, very happy with the potatoes. So I did amend this soil. There's a video on the amending and the company that I used for the soil testing. Highly recommend them. It was so simple, so easy, gave you all the detailed information you need to amend. And then we planted, so happy with the results. Here's our little herb garden. So we have some chives over here and some parsley back there behind them with some cilantro mixed in. In the box back there, I have some mint, more cilantro, looks like it's getting ready to go to seed, some oregano. These oregano are fairly new, these two here. This one in the back has been there for a while, but then we have some new thyme because my thyme died over the winter months. Some marjoram, it's such a beautiful vibrant color. Over here I have more oregano. One of my tower basils that I started from seed, they look really good this year. We have a couple rosemary right there, some calendula in the back, a new sage, my clematis, which is doing really good this year. And that's about it. Some volunteer weeds. I need to get in here and do a little bit of weeding, but yeah, this is the little herb section. This oregano is so big and beautiful. Oh, there's more calendula back here, so, and a little pot of the tower basil. So everything looks really good. Okay, up front here we have the fenced-in garden that's been here for a very long time. Can't really remember when we put it in, but probably at least 20 years. So I have my tomatoes here, some snap peas, some peppers, so let's check it out. Okay, it is later in the evening too, today, same day, just a little bit later. It gets so hot up here, so I didn't want to come in here when the sun was blazing, and it's so hard to see things, so thought I would wait till the sun goes down a little bit and then bring you up here. So we'll start over here on the left. I have some of those tower basils that I started indoors. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. And then these 3 rows are all Amish paste tomatoes. So I am really hoping to make some lovely sauce this year and can it. Also can some whole tomatoes, so all the tomato stuff. Some ketchup I would like to do again this year. Of course, my tomato salsa, so hopefully these all do well. I have, let's see, 6 plants, I believe. Yeah, 6 plants in each row. And then underneath of the tomatoes, you can see my beets. They are doing pretty good. That was an experiment. Trying to utilize all my space this year, but they don't look terrible. So we'll see how that goes. I'll let you know. So we did amend this bed. If you've watched those videos, I have video regarding how I amended it and what company I used. Then each row I did add my composted manure. So for this, I got this row ready, added composted manure, this one, and then here in the little spots where I added my tower basil. So those have all been amended and compost added to. Then up front of each of the tomato rows, we have some jalapeno peppers that I started from seed as well. The Amish paste I started from seed too. So we'll see how the peppers do. This is usually the setup that I do every year, except for the beets. That is a new thing that I'm trying this year. So more jalapenos over here. And then we mulched everything heavy with the straw. So that just helps keep all of the moisture in the ground, helps us when we don't water every single day, and all of the weeds. So it does help with the weed pressure here too. So over here in the raised bed, I have some leftovers that I'm trying to give away to some family members, some celery and some of those paste tomatoes. We have some nasturtium planted here. I will be using this bed for pumpkins and squash, so trying to get those started. Those are a companion plant that you can use when you're planting your pumpkins and squash items to help with those squash bugs. So hopefully they do their job. There's one on that end as well. And then we just have some sugar snap peas here. This is my rain barrel over here. We've had that there for several years. We do love having it when it rains. So it's a nice addition because then I can just fill up my watering can and just water things as needed. We also have the soaker hose system set up here too, so we can tap into that for watering as well. Outside of that fenced in area, we have our carrots. Now, I tried not to sow them as thick this year, so I didn't have to thin them, and I kind of regret it. They still look really good. I know I will still get carrots, but I just feel like I would rather sow them pretty thick and come in, because you can see it's pretty spotty. I know I will not have as many carrots as I did last year. I was able to can quite a few pints, which is just enough for my family. This year I will probably just have to rely on a fall harvest. We are going to be planting some carrots in the back, so I'm not worried that I won't have any for over winter, but I will just do things a little different, I think. Okay, so just to give you some perspective of location-wise, that's the fenced-in garden that we have. I didn't show you my other rain barrel that I have. That's the second rain barrel. We do like the rain barrels. It does help with watering. Like I said, we live in the city, so we have a water bill. So we're trying to utilize everything we can, and we have a lot to water here in the gardens. So, but this is the fenced-in garden. That's the herb garden. That's Mara Rose. She's gonna sit there pretty. And then we have my strawberry bed. So earlier this year, I bought some jewel strawberries from Gurney's. They looked beautiful when I got them, and then I waited too long to plant them, so I killed them all. It was very tragic, but I had intended on removing all of these strawberries and replacing them. You know, after a few years of harvesting, they're just kind of spent. So then it's always a good idea just to replace them. It would be ideal to do what I had planned on doing. So I was going to plant these strawberries in the back beds, that raised bed that I showed you, have them this year go ahead and grow in that raised bed, harvest this strawberry bed, then when this was done, dig these up and replace them with the nice jewel strawberries that had been established for this season and put them here. Unfortunately, that did not work because I killed those strawberries. So I do have a couple back there, which I showed you, but it's not going to be as big. I think I had 24 of the jewel strawberries. So I will try it again next year, but I'm so very thankful I didn't get rid of these yet and had intended to go ahead and harvest, because lots and lots of bloom on these guys. So hopefully they do well. They look beautiful though, don't they? Just that beautiful little lemon center, the white flower against that green backdrop. So pretty. So up front of the gated or fenced in garden, we have more veggies. So we have some Swiss chard here in the middle, right there, the beautiful yellow, some kale back there, and we have these beautiful, they're called California Wonder bell peppers that I'm trying this year, and they look fantastic. So they already have some bloom on them, or some buds getting ready to bloom. So I'm really excited to have those this year. Then behind them, I have some Patterson storage onions. In front, I have some red onions. I can't remember the name. I'll throw it up there for you. And then mixed in at the end of the onions are some Walla Wallas. So I'll let you know how that goes. But these peppers look really good. Then down here I have my poblano peppers. They are not as big because I am hoping to save seed from the California Wonder, and I started them much earlier than I did the others because I did not want any cross germination. So hopefully that works out well for me. As soon as I have some established peppers to pick off of these California Wonders, I will save those seeds immediately. So here are the poblano peppers. I did grow these last year and we loved them. We have more tomatoes on this side. These are a German pink, so they are beautiful. I will throw a picture up from last year, but super happy with them last year, and I had 8 plants, so I do only have 5 here, which will be plenty because 8 was just too many. My garlic, I'm super disappointed with, but I always purchase my garlic from a company and they deliver it. This time I waited too long in the season to order, so I had to buy from a local nursery and was so disappointed. So I won't be doing that again. Lesson learned. Here we've got 3 blueberries. They're hybrids. The 2 in the front are a high bush. Well, they're all 3 high bush. The one in the back, I believe, is called Elliot. I could have that mixed up. I will throw the names up for sure, but they are all 3 high bush blueberries with some weeds. Okay, that is the veggie garden tour for May. Like I said, I will be doing a flower garden tour for those of you who are interested in the flower portion of this. The blueberries, I did pull out the tags. I kept them. And I have 2 of the North Blue High Bush, and then the one in the back, it gets a little bit bigger, so that one is called Elliot. That is also a high bush. The North Blue are both hybrids, so they're not as tall as the Elliot, which is what I wanted. I wanted the taller one in the back with the shorter ones in the front, so I'm hoping those do better this year. I've not had great luck with the blueberries, so we'll see. It's all an experiment, right? And you got to give yourself grace when things don't always go the way you want them to, or you have an epic fail like my peas in the back. That's all a learning curve, and I gotta say, each year gets a little bit better. Like I said in the past, I've always done gardens, but we're trying to do more as far as seasonal gardening. So each year it gets a little bit better. Each year we learn something new and apply it in our gardens. So that's all we can do, right? But be sure and give yourself some grace when you're doing all of these things, because it is a lot of work. So it's, you know, every day out here checking things and getting the bugs off, or watering everything, or picking and harvesting, or planting and weeding. So give yourself some grace.